In Season 7, I decided to make some changes to the responsibilities. I found that Ralf Rangnick has been signing way too many youth players that do absolutely nothing to our first team. So I've only let him be in charge of the first team, and when it comes to the under-23s and the under-18s, I'm going to be in charge, which means I'm going to do nothing. I'm not going to sign any of these really crap youngsters that he has been doing ever so recently, and especially in the last few years. It's just been relentless without actually focusing on the first team and the positions that we need. So that's where we're starting off. These responsibilities have changed, and we're at the 6th of July because it has started to take in effect. We have just rejected another bid for Messier, which these offers keep coming in every single summer, but that's absolutely fine. We have got a work permit for another Juventus player, actually. Also, obviously, Messier was going to go to Juve if it was accepted. It wasn't. But we have had our own offer accepted for a Juve player, Bruno Attella. Now, £20 million, and it's a low wage as well if we do manage to get him. He hasn't been capped by Portugal, but I still think he's a good enough player. Really good in that defensive midfield position. He can play in the midfield as well, of course, now that we got the two Mazzalas in ahead. So I think he's all right. And the price that we're about to pay for him, I'm all right with that. If we take a look at his history, he hasn't really played a lot of games for Juve. In fact, he hasn't played any, but he has been playing on loan in the Portuguese second division and doing really well, to be fair. So that could be our first signing in the door, because if we take a look at our transfer history right now, it's just a few players leaving the club, including Jack Harrison going for £24 million, and Yanis Antiste. His activation fee was activated. His activation fee was activated. His release clause was activated, £3.9 million. As you can see, we haven't signed anybody else since Alejandro Balde in January. But we go a whole nother month now, and I've really found like these transfers now that he starts signing all of these really crap young players that we don't know anything about or aren't very good at all, that he's actually being a little bit more meticulous with his signings. They're not as wild as what they were before. We haven't had a lot of offers going out to some players, but now we finally have one, and it's been accepted for Eduard Monteiro. Now, I wouldn't say that this is a player that I'd be going for, to be fair. He's a natural at centre-back, but he only has 10 for marking and 12 for heading. He's only 6'1". Composure's bad. He is brave, but I don't know. That pace is great. Some of his physical attributes are fantastic, but not in the jumping reach, and his position is only 13. Defensively, he's pretty poor. Another Portuguese player, though, but he can play on the right-hand side. If he was to play on the right, maybe it'd be a little bit better. We have actually completed the deal for Bruno Attella, and there hasn't been anybody else who has left the club. In regards to the schedule, though, we have not played any Premier League games, only friendlies so far. They've all been successful, but we do have Chelsea, the first game of the season, which will be, of course, a tricky test. Then we got Swansea and Wolves, and then, of course, we'll be going into the transfer deadline day action. We don't know what our European group stage is yet, but I think we are looking all right. And there's not been as many players of our players who have had offers coming in for them this summer as well. It's been rather quiet. Okay, we've just played these 3 games. Then Chelsea, we lost 4-1 to Vinicius Jr. got himself a hat-trick. But we did follow that up with a 5-0 victory against Swansea and a 5-1 victory away from home against Wolves, who actually took the lead as well. A bad mistake there by Meslier in goal. Yeah, I'm not very happy about that. Thankfully, though, it gave us a lot of time to come back into the game. As we can see here, some beautiful play. Rafinha breaking the offside trap with a little over-the-top dink there above Pena. Calvin Phillips doing wonders in that press. Winning the ball back, playing through Lorenzo Luca. He might be 6'7" on a target forward, but he's still got the pace sometimes to get in behind the defenders. Not only that, he can also attack corners. It wasn't him who got the corner goal, but we still managed to score from the set piece. Calvin Phillips, yet again, with a great assist to Yankov. He's come through and takes it round the goalkeeper to make it 3-1. We weren't done there. We still managed to score 2 quite late goals. Takafesi Kubel to Beltran, into Lorenzo Luca, plays it to Phillips, and then to Rafinha to smash it in for the 5th. And again, transfer-wise, we have signed that centre-back, and I'm not really too pleased about it, to be honest. It definitely wouldn't be a player that I have signed, and I don't think we'll use him that much. No players on the outs though, but we're about to go into the deadline day. But before we do that, today's video is sponsored once again by SPITCH. Now, I've been telling you all about SPITCH for some time recently, and it is definitely the best fantasy footballing app that I have ever used, just for the simple fact that you don't have any limitation on any of the transfers. The point system is a lot more than what you would normally see on any other fantasy footballing app, and it makes for a very competitive league, as you can see if you join my league, which 70 of you have done so now. So thank you very much for that. It is free to play, and if you're from the UK, Germany or Austria, you can join for free using the link at the top of the description. Now, you do have to be 18 or over because you can actually win some prize money. So once you verify your account with a snap of your identification, then you are free to play and you can yet still win money. I think I came in the top 180 people of the world playing SPITCH last week, and yet I still finished 4th in my league. So my league is very competitive. There's a link underneath the top of the description, which is a second link, which you can join my community league as well. All the statistical analysis is on the app as well, which will help you determine what players that you want to sign. And once you have done that, you can fire away every single weekend. But it's not just a season thing, it's a week by week basis as well. You can win prize money just by playing one week and never play it again. So it might be worth you giving it a try this weekend before the season ends. And then of course, next season, you can give it a proper good go when we're in my league from week 1. Thank you everybody who's been signed up for SPITCH. You really do help support me as a content creator. And thank you once again to SPITCH for sponsoring today's video. Okay, we're in the deadline day action here. 13 hours to go, and we are getting some bids now for Caligari, which I'm quite afraid of. £36.5 million from Bayern Munich, and he wants to discuss his future, which every time this comes up, by the way, I'll always select this little button here to let Ralf Rangnick do that himself. But if we do look at Caligari, he is easily one of the best right backs that you will find for around about this price at a club which is in the top echelon of Europe, which we're not in right now. And remember, we finished in 5th place last season. We're fighting for Europe. But if we take a look, we got him from PSG where he didn't play that many games, and ever since he has been a world beater. 13 assists last season, arguably our player of the season. So I think the Leeds fans will be devastated if he does leave, but he is wanting to go. I mean, Bayern Munich has come calling. He is wanting to go. 25 years of age now. It's going to be tricky to keep hold of him. But the transfer window has closed and we have not lost any players. So I'll give you a brief rundown of the transfer window. We did also reject a Malarial bid there, which, to be honest, I would have sold him. I think I would have sold him for that amount of money. Although he was good, we only got him for £8.5 million. He didn't play that many games last season, just 11 starts with 13 appearances from the bench. I would have been open to selling for that amount of money. Then I would have gone big and I would have bought somebody who would be a game changer for our club, possibly a new striker or a centre-back. But if we do take a look at our transfer window, we did spend, of course, £40 million on these two players. Atella, has he been playing for us so far? He hasn't. And, of course, Monterio, who, again, we have only played one game, and that was off the bench. So I don't think, really, we have signed anybody who's going to improve our team, and that might be the problem. We are still running the diamond from last season. I haven't changed that. I think we were just rather unlucky, the fact that we didn't finish in the top 4. But let's take a look then, because we've been given our European Cup, a Europa League group. Celtic, Trabzonspor, by the way, congratulations to any Trabzonspor fans for winning the league for the first time in like 38 years. The pictures and videos were insane. Fair play. Sporting also in our group. So it's a kind of a tricky tie, but I'd like to think that we will top that group quite easily. And we're in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup from Bournemouth. Of course, we're in the top 3 right now because we have got 6 points from 9, but we have a really good goal difference, obviously winning 5-0 and 5-1. Okay, we're back in January then after simulating that half of the season anyway. And we're looking all right. As you can see, we're in 4th place here. And we have dropped some points recently, which means that we could have actually been top if we hadn't have done so, which is absolutely crazy. Let's take a look then at the past positions and see where we've been. We have been top quite a few times, to be fair, but most recently in the last few games where we have lost those really important games around Christmas, we have dropped down into 4th place. And it bodes well, doesn't it, for us that we're managing to do that. If we take a look at the Premier League, Rafinha has scored 14 goals, Karim Adeyemi is a top scorer, and Calvin Phillips does have 7 assists, which is the joint top assists alongside Bernardo Silva. And Rafinha has the most assists there, and even Meslier has 10 clean sheets. Ederson's hard to catch because they've only lost 3 games and he's got 15 clean sheets in 20 games. 15 in 20 games, yeah, which is mental considering the games that they did concede, they lost in, and one of them was to us. A nice 2-1 victory there at home. So we actually played them at the Etihad and beat them 2-1. So that's rare. That's very rare that that's been happening. But I like it. I like it a lot. Now, let's take a look at the champions, well, our European group anyway. We have topped it. 18 points out of 18. We won all 6 games here, and we scored a big amount of goals too, with a 15 goal difference. So we actually cruise controlled this very nicely, which I'm really happy with. So schedule wise then, we have been looking quite good and to be honest quite consistent. And like I said, it's only been recently where the fixtures have mounted up, where we've only got 1 win in our last like 5 games there, one of them being a Carabao Cup semi-final, which is against Middlesbrough, which I'd like to think we'd go through, but that only 1 victory there was against West Ham, 4-0, Rafinha getting himself a brace. But some big wins, including a 6-0 away win against Brighton there quite recently, and Liverpool in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. 2 goals there from Rafinha and Lorenzo Colombo. So far, so good. Now, we are looking at another player again. If I take a look at the ins, we are about to sign somebody, or we've made an offer anyway, for a Liverpool centre-back, Mauro Katanic. Now, this guy is a lot better than the last one that we have just signed for double the price. Even though his physicals are far superior, he can actually defend. That's most important for me. Because if we do take a look at the players that we did sign recently again, I don't think we've really been playing him that much, especially Eduardo Montero. We've played him 14 games, 8 starts, 6 assists, 6 appearances off the bench with 2 assists. He's actually played quite well. I'm quite surprised by that. And Bruno Attella? What about Bruno Attella? So he has only played 7 games, which I kind of expect because we've got quite a lot of really good centre defensive midfielders, including Kamara and Calvin Phillips and players like that. So I really didn't expect him to play much, which is kind of reason why I'm a bit annoyed with Ralf Rangnick spending that amount of money, when if you just saved it all up and just got 1 big player, he could have been a first teamer, but never mind. All right, we've just closed the January transfer window. Let's take a look at how this window ended. Now, we just had an offer, which, by the way, I haven't accepted or declined. It's not up to me. Ralf Rangnick clearly hasn't made his mind up yet on Alberto Malero from Napoli, so maybe that's something that he'll be doing. We are signing this guy at the end of the season. Kieran Webster doesn't look that good. Again, one of those weird signings. And we have actually completed the Mauro Katanic bid of £11.25 million. Not bad. We have been selling a couple of players actually. Tyler Powell and Simcoe for a little bit of money there just to top up our transfer budget. So we've brought in £30 million and spent £51 million. But the rest of January was quite fruitful actually, because we only lost 1 game to Manchester United. We actually demolished Middlesbrough in the second leg 6-1, and we even beat Aston Villa in the FA Cup third round 4-2. So we will go on and play Manchester United in the Carabao Cup final. It's going to be a difficult game, don't get me wrong, but we'll come back for that game and see how we did. We also defeated Tottenham 3-2. Nice. I'm really happy with that. My dad would have been fuming. Right, on to the Carabao Cup final. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't our day, because in the 85th minute, Manchester United finally broke the deadlock. And our defence has been playing so well, but Rafael Leao managed to pick up the goal. I'm quite devastated, because if you take a look at this, look, we had an XG of 1.57 to their 0.95. We have more shots, just less on target. But ideally, you know, we need to be scoring. We need to be scoring at least in a cup final. Lorenzo Luca having a bad game there, 6.2. Defensively, we're insane. But look at their team. They have got one of the best teams that I've seen Manchester United actually. And weirdly, players like Timber, who they're actually linked with in real life, not bad at all. But Samuel Ricci, Bellingham, like really good players. Teo Hernandez, Minguenza's really good too. So yeah, they've built up quite a fantastic little team there. Edouard Mendy's on the bench for some reason that they signed from Chelsea in goal. So they have got a decent side, has Manchester United, and their manager is Pep Guardiola. So, yeah, it's very bizarre, isn't it, how this has ever even happened. It went from Gabriel Milano, of course, is the Juve manager. It's just I haven't done the change since Marcelo Bielsa even took over. He then retired, and then Pep Guardiola managed to take over from then. He's been in charge for 1 year, 275 days, and he's got himself a Euro Cup as well. 3 cup wins in total. So already a fruitful time for Pep Guardiola at Old Trafford. But we're on course for at least challenging for those Champions League spots in the English Premier League, in behind Manchester United and Liverpool. They're 57 points, 56. We're on 59. So we're 6 points ahead of Newcastle there in 6th place. But I'm just like kind of worried that that's where we're going to finish in 5th place. So maybe we have to look elsewhere. We do have Feyenoord in the Europa League next round, in the quarterfinal, or in the second round knockout stage, sorry, after obviously the first round knockout stage has been played. We won't take part of that because we won our group. But yeah, our expectation is to reach the quarterfinal. That's going to be a tricky tie, but we should be able to overcome it. And we're still in the FA Cup against Doncaster. See, I knew this would happen. Unfortunately, we finish 3 points off of top 4. Manchester City finishing 3 points and Liverpool finishing 3 points above us. We finished 7 points clear of Newcastle there in 6th place. So we're in kind of a little bit of a limbo. We're doing so well, we just cannot get to that next stage of top 4. 10 losses. Yeah, we're so close. Big losses as well. Like, we're only really losing to the teams who are at the top end of the league. Other than Everton, we lost both games to Everton, which we shouldn't be doing. But there we go. Chelsea have won the league. They haven't won it for a couple of years now, but Liverpool and Chelsea keep trading league titles, so that's fair enough. Rafinha with 20 goals this season. Ederson got 21 clean sheets in 38 appearances, which is mental, really. Over 50% of the games. We scored 29 goals for Rafinha and 21 from Lorenzo Luca, 18 from Lorenzo Colombo. Okay, I wonder how far we got in these other competitions then. Because, you might have already noticed, we beat Newcastle 2-0 in the final of the Europa League. Let's go. That's the reason why I had a Champions League little slot next to our name. I did wonder that. It could either have meant two things. It was either that one of the teams in the top 4 had won the Europa League, or we had won the Europa League. Rafinha with a big goal there from the penalty spot on the 22nd minute, and then to close it off quite late as well in the 86th minute. What lovely play there to Leah. Who is Leah? I'm quite curious who that is. I don't even know myself. Graham Leah. I have no idea who this player is. He looks like he's come through our youth academy. He's in our under 18s. He is phenomenal. 21 years of age, and he's been playing for us, and I didn't even realise. Of course, when I simulate, I don't fill up all the positions, so he's played 1 league game, got 1 goal and an assist, and he's got a very crucial goal for us in the Europa League final. What a team, by the way, that Newcastle have got. Amin Gouiri, Rodrigo, Gonçalves, and Gravenberch. Just in that front 4 alone. Their team is insane. So, yeah, we've overcome them, done really well there. Of course, we reached the semi-final and were knocked out by Manchester City in the FA Cup. We were very close to a treble this season, which is mental. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know down in the comment section. Do you think we can break into that top 4? We do have Champions League football next season, so money should be a little bit better, but we haven't been receiving that. We've only got 70 million, or we've got 70 million, but we've only got 10 million pound in that wage budget. Is it a case of I need to set some of these players to just be sold? Get rid of them, rebuild, bring in some bigger ones. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and make sure you're checking out SPITCH as well. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.